You're absolutely crushed on taxes down the road. You're double crushed on taxes if you try to take it out before 59.5 with this 10% penalty. And for what? For what? Almost like nothing. Hey, AFIP, James here. Wanted to touch on a quick case study that came up in a recent onboarding for a prospective new client here. Something we really don't see often at all. So, for the people who need to hear this, I hope it gets to them. But for many of you, this just will not be applicable. But it has to do with annuities, okay? And it's a specific type of annuity called a non-qualified annuity. And all that means is the type of money that's in it is not IRA money. It's not 401k money. It's not tax-preferred money, right? It's just regular old money, non-qualified money that's in this annuity. Okay, so the purpose of this is to just compare what this annuity is versus the alternative, no annuity on this type of money. Just a regular old investment account where that money would reside, right? If you had $500,000, you had to put it somewhere, and you're looking at just putting it in a regular old brokerage account, investment account, versus this non-qualified annuity. This is what we're looking at on this screen here, okay? I can't figure out what scenario this actually works for. I can't figure out a single place, a single situation in which this actually brings value. Now, internet, you're welcome to correct me if I'm wrong here, but we'll walk through it. So very simply, think about $500,000, right? If you drop that $500,000 into this orange column, the annuity, you are giving up access to that money until you are 59 and a half. Okay? So if you're younger than 59 and a half, you've just created a massive liquidity issue, right? Dumped a ton of money into it, and you cannot get at it really effectively without a tax issue until 59 and a half, okay? On the other side, this gray column, right? If you put $500,000 in a brokerage account, you can always get at it. It's totally accessible to you for any needs at all. All right, penalties. Not only can you not get to it without paying tax in the annuity, if you say, I absolutely have to get at it, I got to get this money for some life need, you are going to pay income tax on all of your gains plus a 10% penalty if you are under age 59 and a half, okay? If you are over 59 and a half, you're going to pay income tax. No penalty, just income tax, right? But if you're under 59 and a half, you need to get this money, you pay your income tax rate plus 10%. Now, for almost every physician couple or for every physician household that we work with, right, they're going to be in the higher income tax brackets. You layer on another 10% on top of it to get up money that you should otherwise already have access to if you're in the gray column. We're going to get to the reason why people do this in a second, but all right. This is kind of specific to the annuity that we were talking about with this client, but they had 59 investment options within this annuity. So they had 59 funds they could select from. Again, if it's a regular brokerage account, you have unlimited options. You are not restricted. This was a Fidelity annuity. Not only did they only have 59 options, but they were all Fidelity funds, right? Buy it? I mean, my goodness, this is like smack you in the face obvious, or it should be. Of course, within your own brokerage account, it's totally unbiased, right? It's unlimited options, so you can invest whatever you want. In this case, it was basically just languishing. No one was actually helping with it. They were just sitting in three investments, and it's been in there since 2009, right? Untouched virtually, right? Of course, with a brokerage account, if you have a financial advisor helping you, yes, you can choose to have them help you manage that. You don't have to, though. It's your call. Okay, taxation. If there is any benefit at all to this orange column, right? It's what you're paying in terms of income tax rate and capital gains. Okay, so let me outline this. I'm going to start with the gray column. If you have $500,000 in the gray column, right? When you have gains on that $500,000, right? You have to pay tax on those gains. It's called capital gains tax. It's about 15% at the highest level right now, right? So 15% is really the high end tier on capital gains in this brokerage account. And you only pay those capital gains when you sell the investment and realize your gains, right? So you may have $100,000 gain on paper, but if you haven't sold that investment in your brokerage account and actually realize that $100,000 is cash in your account, you could, that $100,000 could sit there as a gain for 5 years, and as long as you haven't sold it, you pay no tax. Once you sell it, yes, you will owe 15% on that gain. All right. The benefit to the annuity is that you pay no capital gains from now until 59 and a half. Okay? Yeah, so you defer capital gains. But as we talked about, once you start taking money out after 59 and a half, you are going to pay federal income and state tax rates on everything, on all the gains that you take out of that, right? So if your tax bracket is above 15% in retirement, this is worse off relative to this, okay? The rest of this stuff gets a little bit in the weeds, but it's just like, can you take basis out first or gain out first? Basis of the money you put in, right? This is called LIFO, right? Last in, first out, right? So last in is going to be gain. And so that comes out first. So it's all that gain is taxable to you. 100% of that's taxable. And then once you've distributed all of the gain, then you get into what went in first. And that's usually your basis, right? So that's returned to you tax-free. Sorry, typo here. That should say flexible. On this gray column, you have a ton of flexibility in terms of tax loss harvesting, and when you recognize gains or how you offset losses with gains, short-term, long-term gains in this account. It's really supremely flexible. I mean, clients that we work with who have money in these types of accounts, we have lots of clients with this type of money. Capital gains as 15% is really manageable in any given year. Oftentimes, we will wait till there's a down market where they have losses to offset those gains with those losses. And it really kind of nets out to no gain at all. So finally here on expenses, right? Just to have the annuity, the privilege the annuity company is giving you of deferring your 15% gain from now till 59 and a half, right? You're going to pay them 0.25% for that privilege. Right? You don't have that cost on a regular brokerage account. Fund expenses, right? In this case, they're trapped in Fidelity. They're trapped in this annuity, right? They're trapped in these investment options, right? You are going to pay whatever fund expense Fidelity wants to charge you in this case, right? And this fund expenses, everybody pays this. Everybody pays this, myself included as an advisor in my own funds, right? Right. But when you are locked in and beholden, in this case, to a single company, they can charge whatever the heck they want and you will pay it. Because if you want to get your money out, guess what? You're going to get crushed with taxes and penalties. Okay. Finally, continued management. This speaks up here to whether you have an advisor or not, right? We're just building in our kind of highest asset management fee for any managed investment when a client has all assets with us. And just to compare, right? Just to compare just on a pure cost basis in this case. So you pay more, you're locked in, you only have a certain amount of investment options, you're absolutely crushed on taxes down the road, you're double crushed on taxes if you try to take it out before 59.5 with this 10% penalty. And for what? For what? Almost like nothing. Right? Over here, you have none of those issues. None. All right, so just to make sure I wasn't crazy, because we just don't see this that often, and I've never placed a non-qualified annuity. Never once in my lifetime, my professional career. So I called an annuity company or annuity provider, wholesaler that we've used for annuities in other areas, not non-qualified annuities, but and just asked him about this. I'm like, hey, am I crazy here? Like, what is the use case for this? I can't think of a single thing. We talked for 10 minutes, and he's basically, I should have recorded the call, and he's like, James, 95+% of the annuities we do are not this. He's like, you just don't see it hardly at all anymore. He's like, the only time we're placing them is in this exact case, right? Someone got stuck in this thing years ago. They're trying to get out of it. They want a better annuity than the one they're in. But it's not new business. It's not like someone's coming with them with $500,000 and saying, hey, I want to put this in a new non-qualified annuity, right? The only time they're seeing this which is only 5% of the time in general. It's just unwinding some BS that was put in place years ago. So anyway, this just, I hope this never affects anybody, right? But just please get a second opinion. If someone is putting a non-qualified annuity in front of you and pitching its benefits, go talk to at least 2 or 3 other advisors, preferably an advisor who is an independent RIA, right? Not someone who is beholden to any kind of insurance company. You're always going to get bias anytime you're talking to an insurance company representative. You've got to talk to an unbiased person who has no skin in that game, and just hear what they have to say. Obviously, you know my opinion on this. But anyway, hopefully this is helpful. I hope it helps people dodge a bullet. And as always, till next time, all the best.